Welcome to Tough Times with Cassidy Yu and Julie Mugetsky. Today we'll be talking about one tough topic, climate change. With us this morning are 5 climate change experts.
First, we have Dr. Roman Stewart, an expert in the science of fossil fuels. Dr. Stewart, thank you for being on the show today. Also joining us is Mr. Adler Singer, top energy specialist at the National Resources Defense Council.
Thank you for inviting me here to talk about the heated topic, literally, of climate change.
I'm glad to be here to talk about pollution, climate change, and the energy crisis.
Starting off, our first question is for Dr. Stewart. What is one of the biggest causes of climate change in the world?
One of the major causes for climate change in the world is burning fossil fuels for energy. This emits toxic gases like CO2 or carbon dioxide, resulting in the greenhouse gas effect, which occurs when gases released into our atmosphere artificially warm the earth by trapping the sun's rays. Transportation causes 31% of the problematic CO2.
So, Mr. Singer, what would be the best solution to burning fossil fuels? The sea of CO2 smelled over London, England, in 1952 took over 4,000 lives. How do we find another non-polluting energy source?
There are many solutions, but none that can quickly fix it. Fossil fuels in 2008 produced more than 3.5 times more kilowatt energy hours than renewable energy. And there's only 200 years left of coal and 60 years left of oil. The oil drilling system is so inefficient that only 1/3 of the oil drill is used. The remaining 2/3 is left underground. Companies in Venezuela and Canada are producing oil from bitumen-based petroleum sands. But however, 1 acre of sand only produces 1 barrel of oil. Venezuelan companies are using emulsifiers to mix water and sand, which is more efficient but still takes a lot of energy to produce. So much of the world's energy can be saved by simple innovations. 60% of the world's energy is used to run machine motors. Vehicle companies can become more sustainable by using more eco-friendly and efficient products. Manufacturers can use stronger, lighter, and more sustainable products like carbon fiber and hybrid engines. Also, by using carbon fiber, cars will be a lot more safe due to the strength of the material.
Then why not drive electric cars to stop burning fossil fuels?
Actually, electric cars pollute more than regular cars and burn coal for energy. If the electricity for these cars was generated from renewable energy sources, it wouldn't harm the environment. If we put pollution converters on cars, it would really help the environment.
Anyway, back to renewable energy. What do you consider the best renewable energy source and why?
Renewable sources today aren't nearly power enough to power the whole world. For instance, in sunny places, it's best to use solar energy. I mean, in a place like London, there's only 14 hours of sunlight in the months of June and July, solar wouldn't be the best option.
What do you think is the best renewable energy source?
That depends on individual circumstances. For instance, hydropower needs a strong flowing water source, and not every area has a large river that can power that. Also, another issue is that sometimes when building the upstream reservoir, it displaces nearby residential areas. The Three Gorges Dam in China forced 1.13 million people to move. Renewable sources, there are many pros and cons of renewables, whether it be location specific, too expensive, or inefficient to store. Renewables are for it.
So for instance, in a place like Minnesota with a lot of water, would you use hydroelectric power?
It'd be good because of the large Mississippi River. There are already a lot of hydroelectric dams on the Mississippi, including St. Anthony Falls Dam with a 10 megawatt capacity.
Thank you, Mr. Singer and Dr. Stewart. Up next, renowned master naturalist Jordan Johnson is here to talk with Tough Times on habitat loss and species extinction. Hello, Ms. Johnson. You're on Tough Times.
Thanks for having me here today, Cassidy and Julian.
So how was your trip to the Amazon?
It was wonderful. Although, as of 2006, over 17% of the Amazon has been cut down for lumber and cattle farms, but it still takes up over more than 2.5 million acres of South America.
What are you doing in the Amazon?
Well, I was trying to preserve it. 14% of the earth was once made of rainforest, but now it's only 6%. And by the current rate we're going, by the year 2085, the Amazon will be completely gone. leaving 20 to 40 million species without a home. Deforestation is the leading cause of habitat loss, which forces many animals to adapt to different climates, or not adapt at all and just die out. 18 species became extinct in the 21st century alone due to human interference. And logging clears away 2.5 acres of trees every 1 to 2 minutes. With the Amazon gone, the world will have lost 20% of fresh oxygen and have more particulate matters to pollute, making every living thing very sick.
What can we do to help?
Well, we can definitely reduce, reuse, and recycle normal household items to prevent wasting resources by necessarily creating new products. Cut a tree, plant a tree method is also good. It helps animals adapt better to different climates. Or you can improve, people have also been improving offense respiratory systems by 24% by planting natural air conditionings or pollutant filtered plants. We also need to stop cutting down rainforest trees. Endorsed in rainforest preservation organizations can help.
Thanks, Ms. Johnson. Now with us to address one of the most well-known problems of global warming from climate change is Arctic explorer Jack Bullock. Before we talk to Mr. Bullock, here's a clip from last week's interview with him and Julian on the Antarctic and Arctic ice caps.
Thanks so much for having me today. Right now I'm researching the effects of global warming on the northern Arctic polar ice caps. As you can see, the weather is quite extreme here.
Last week we told tough times with the dog.
Well, the average sea ice extent for December 2012 was 12.2 million square kilometers. This is 1.16 million square kilometers below the 1979-2000 average for the month, and is the second lowest December extent in satellite history. The Arctic is annually losing ice. It's projected as soon as 2015 there will be no summer ice at all. There will only be winter ice. Because of all this ice is melting, the sea levels are rising slowly.
Now with us in the studio is Mr. Poland.
Thank you so much for having me today.
How is the ice melting so fast?
Each year, the Arctic is losing ice because there is less light reflective ice to deflect the sun's ultraviolet rays and more dark absorbing ocean water to absorb them. With the thinning ozone layer to filter out fewer of the sun's rays, ice is melting at an accelerated pace. If sea levels rise too much, it could be catastrophic for lower-lying coastal cities of the world, such as New York. However, a solution for these regional areas to slow the ice melting is to put reflective chemicals in the atmosphere, such as black carbon, to reflect some of the sun's rays.
How do these changes affect the Arctic and Antarctic life?
Well, the Arctic and Arctic life is having a tough time coping with the rising temperature and the loss of sea ice. Last year alone, enough ice to cover the entire United States has melted. With this loss of ice and rising temperature, the krill is dying. Krill are the creatures that bottom and support the food chains in these areas. The number of krill in the Antarctic and Arctic have dropped as much as 80% since the 1970s. This means today's stocks are a mere fifth of what they were 3 decades ago.
What does this mean for the penguins of the Antarctic?
The penguins in the Antarctic are being affected very severely. It's projected by 2100, the number of emperor penguin breeding pairs will drop as much as 80%.
More on that very soon. Thank you for being here, Mr. Poland.
Thank you for having me.
For our last expert, we have Jenny Wilder, a marine biologist specializing in the effects of climate change on coral reefs. Hi, Ms. Wilder. Good to see you on the show.
Good to be here. I just got back from my expedition on Australia, where I explored the Great Barrier Reef. In the past 50 years, increasing CO2 levels in the atmosphere has made it hard for reefs to live. In 2004, it was estimated that around a fourth of the world's corals had died, and by 2045, it is estimated that about half will die.
All because of climate change?
Yes, but climate change isn't the only problem. Basically, CO2 is affecting the coral reefs in 2 ways. The first is that CO2 is being absorbed into the oceans. About a third of CO2 emissions in the air are being absorbed into the oceans, causing the pH, or a scale of acidity, to drop, making it more acidic. In the last 100 years, the temperature of the ocean has also risen by 1 degree Fahrenheit because of global warming, and it is projected to rise by 3 degrees Fahrenheit in the next 100 years. The coral bleaching, as a result of water temperature increases and increasing acidity, kills the corals. When a coral becomes stressed, it expels its zooxanthellae, which is the symbiotic algae that lives inside it, which also provides pigmentation, hence bleaching. If corals stay bleached too long, they will die. Here are some examples of bleached corals. These white ones down here and around the brown one and up in that corner are all bleached corals. And the brown one in the middle and the colorful ones over there are all healthy. In the past, in the Philippines, where temperature and acidity have changed a lot, bleaching has affected almost 90% of corals.
Well, any final words you'd like our audiences to hear?
Well, all I can say is that these reefs are amazing. They only take about 0.1% of the Earth's surface, but a fourth of all marine species depend on them for life. About 8% of the world's population depends on fish for food, and if the corals die, fish will be harder to come by. Imagine feeding all these people without the fish. It's amazing how much we really need these reefs.
Thank you, Ms. Waller, for being on the show today. Back to you, Cassie.
Julian, well, now that we've heard from our experts, what do you think is the right solution?
Converting trash to power is a great solution. That might be the best since the renewable waste energy systems have generated up to 25,000 watts of energy. Due to this, these systems generate power by burning trash at a high enough temperature that particulate matter incinerates. Over 40 tons of garbage were used to power the world last year, and the power generated is sent back to the places where the garbage came from. By taking the trash and turning it into waste, the way literally in landfills, and bringing it for energy instead of bringing the world closer to a safer greenhouse gas level.
Well, we can definitely reduce, reuse, and recycle to save resources and avoid wasting, and refuse chemical toxicities. Finland recycles so much trash that they have to ask other countries for more trash. Sweden and a few other countries already recycle up to 90% of their aluminum supplies, saving 90% of the energy. We can use sustainable energy in lieu of fossil fuels, as Dublin, Ireland already banned coal in 1990, saved up to 35% of smoke levels and saved around 4,000 lives. By helping your environment, you help yourself. Be the change you want to see in the world.
That's right. See you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central for our discussion on world hunger.